All right, guys, welcome back to Crypto Harmonics. This is Friday, November the 3rd, and in this video, I want to take a look at Bitcoin on the charts here, and we're going to look at the price action that's occurred after each of these hard forks, and we might be able to extrapolate some kind of price prediction on Bitcoin by going off of that. And then we're also going to look at the retrace too. When Bitcoin finally decides to retrace, what are some good price levels there? So, and then secondly, I want to look at how I've been trading harmonic patterns as of late. With Bitcoin being so bullish and just blowing past every other altcoin, I've kind of had to switch up my style a little bit, so I'm going to show you guys how I've been playing that. And then finally, I made 3 different portfolio types for current and potential and future investors. And I want to share one of those with you guys in this video, and potentially the other ones in a later video. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, guys, so you can probably already figure it out by looking at this chart, but I will say this blue line here is the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. This is the Bitcoin Gold hard fork. And then this is the upcoming Bitcoin 2X hard fork. So, and the Bitcoin Gold was really turned out to be not that big of a deal. I think it's trading around $150 right now. So we'll see on that one. This one to me is a much bigger deal, almost as big of a deal as the Bitcoin Cash one. So expect to see a lot of volatility up or down over the next couple weeks. But let's take a look at if it continues up, especially after the hard fork. So what I like to do is look at percentages instead of dollar value, and you can get a better, I think a little more accurate view price-wise. So especially when this thing is just moving exponentially. That's why if you look up some logarithmic scales, they're a lot better, I think, looking at with some of this. I'm not going to pull that up right now, but here's my point. After the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, we had about an 85% move up until it had a nice little correction. Okay, so we can take this thing over here, and after the Bitcoin Gold, if we just take after the Bitcoin Gold hard fork, and make a 85% move. Let's include Bitcoin Gold and the Bitcoin 2X. Let's say after both of these hard forks are done and the smoke clears, and everybody's like, okay, I know which Bitcoin I like now, then you could have an 85% move, which runs us right up into $10,000 Bitcoin. Everybody is going to start talking about it. You're going to start seeing videos about it. It's happening, and it's going to happen possibly, I think before February or March. Could happen before the end of the year. Who really knows for sure? But that's definitely a pretty accurate way, I think, to look at it, looking at it percentage-wise after these splits. Okay. And in a previous video, I talked about the 618 retracement, the most powerful retracement number in Fibonacci, and how this right here, this actual $3,000 mark, was a 618 retracement of this leg up on Bitcoin. And so we've yet to have a solid retracement or correction of any type since this move up here. So it will happen. It will occur at some point. Good luck picking when that'll happen. I don't know if anybody can pick when that'll happen on the dot. But when it does happen, here's what you want to be looking for. So you want to take this last leg on the daily here, and in a market which is, and this is for people that maybe have missed the Bitcoin train and are like, hey, when can I buy more Bitcoin, before it goes to 10,000? If we get a retracement here, I think the $5,700 to $5,800 mark is going to be where you can see there was a little bit of consolidation in there. I think that was last week and the last week before that. So I wouldn't expect it going much lower, especially in such a bullish trend and people are really catching the Bitcoin fever. So it could possibly come down to this 4,700 at the 618. But man, if I wouldn't count on it with as bullish as Bitcoin has been. And you can just kind of follow this thing. If it continues higher over the coming days, you can just continue pulling this thing along, and every high that it makes, be watching, because when this thing slams down, it slams down quick, and when it pops up quick. It's a very volatile market, so you can follow this thing and see where the 382 retracement will end up there. So with the bullishness of Bitcoin and just the steady uptrend it's had, it's just slaughtered everything in its way. So what I've had to do is really look at the way these harmonic patterns are playing out, because I don't want to bet against Bitcoin right now. Even if I have a sweet pattern, which I have, it's just really hard to go against it, especially with all the excitement and new money coming into it, because it is the gateway crypto, right? What I've been doing is I've been trading a lot. These patterns work really well on the USD pairs still. And so, you have Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dash. You have a lot of these. In fact, let's look at some of these. So I have Litecoin here, and I had a really nice butterfly pattern. You guys know about this one. Down to the 786 area, and then down to the 1272 extension. Oh, there we go. And you can see that triggers a buy order right there. If I front run it a little bit, I'm probably going to be more like that. So at about $50.70 something cents, that was a buy order. But here's what I'm doing on these. I'm just taking short little profits, right? So I'm just popping in and popping out. So if I buy Litecoin with USD and then sell it at the B point here and make a little profit. So the patterns are really still working very well, but this is just for me, like as a trader, I enjoy trading so much that yes, I'm going very light right now, and I suggest you guys go light. Just really kind of hold on to what you have, and maybe even through the rest of this year. I don't know, but there are the occasional patterns that pop up that I'm like, okay, I need to take this, and so that's why I'm looking at some of these. Let's hop over to Ethereum. All right, we got Ethereum over here. You can see this nice little bat pattern that, whoops, signaled here, and take it up into the B point there, and I'm just taking little chunks out of the market trading this way. You guys can ride it up longer if you want to. Maybe that's the bottom for Ethereum for a very long time. I don't know. I've been really disappointed with Ethereum as far as just the price action. I really was expecting, especially when it took off like this. This was when? This is a couple weeks ago, I think. Really breaking out of that range and heading up to about 340, 350. I was expecting it to go all the way, at least test the highs, but it's really come back down into this range. I have a theory on it. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Ethereum has so many competitors, and maybe I'll make another video on this, but with Cardano trying to be the Japanese Ethereum, Neo's the Chinese Ethereum. There's an Ethereum for like every country now, apparently. So, is there too much competition in the space, and will it eventually work out? The cream will float to the top. I believe that, especially in a free market. But, for short term, is that bringing the price and keeping the price of Ethereum down as people try and catch the next Ethereum? They didn't catch Ethereum at $10. I didn't. And so they see Cardano, or they see, Neo. I guess Neo's kind of had its day, but Lisk or Ethereum Classic, and they see these coins, and they think, well, maybe it could reach a $20 billion market cap like Ethereum. And so they're looking for 20, 30, 40x moves and not getting into Ethereum. So that's just a theory I have. I don't know. But anyways, okay, let's look at Dash real quick. So this is the only thing I'm really looking at on Dash. I hold Dash, and we'll look at my portfolio here in a second. But this is the only thing I'm looking at on Dash. I don't have any patterns at the moment. I'm just watching to see what it does with this trend line, because this is, you see a start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, is it going to run up against this, or is it going to break out of here? And I expect it to at least retest this area here. I don't think it'll break all-time new highs yet, but at least a little breakout there. So that's something I'm watching. If you guys are holding Dash, that's definitely something to draw on your charts there and be watching. Okay, and then lastly, I was just going to look at NEO here. There's I'm sure you guys that have been following Harmonic Patterns for a while, or at least this channel, will really appreciate this one. You got a deep crab down to the 886, and then you have this extension to the 1618. Oops, that's the 128, 1618, roughly there. Look at that. And then you want to front run it a little bit. So you're buying up NEO at 2282 and taking it up into the X point on these deep crab patterns at 2631. So a nice little profit there. Again, these are things that you have to be on top of, though, because it slammed down in there and sucked right up really quick. So you would have a resting order right there. And these trades are not by any means 100% fail proof, and that's why you set stop losses. So but I think that's just showing the power of harmonics. I know I've been talking about other things as of late, but I want to, this is my main thing here. This is my bread and butter for trading, and it works really well. All right, guys, and finally, I just want to show you, this is my low risk. I know you guys can read, so low risk portfolio for people, newcomers coming into the cryptocurrency space, or not even newcomers, but people that just want a safe bet as they ride the market up. And these, just as a reminder, these portfolios should be dynamic. They don't have to be, but what do I mean by that? That they need to change as a certain cryptocurrency goes to the moon, right? You want to take profits. When Litecoin went up to almost $100, we took profits along the way, and we put it not in USD, but put some in another cryptocurrency that was still undervalued, that had yet to go up that high. And so I switched some Litecoin over to Ethereum, and switched some Litecoin over to Bitcoin, and waiting, and then also when Ethereum had that bat pattern that showed up at $380 signaling to sell, taking some of that Ethereum off and putting it into Monero, because I didn't have a lot of Monero at the time. So they are dynamic, they do change, but you can also just play it simply and just keep these percentages and never change it, and that's fine. You don't have to change it. It's just, it will get you a little better returns if you'll kind of switch back and forth at opportune moments, just not too much. So let's break this down real quick. Obviously 50% in Bitcoin, you really can't go wrong there. I think that gives you a solid bottom line as Bitcoin grows, which is 60% of the entire market right now. So you get a good market share of the cryptocurrency space, and you get good growth out of just having half your portfolio in that. And then my next one is Litecoin, and I think Litecoin is undervalued at the moment. I think it should be about 2 to 2.5% the value of Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. But if that was the case right now at $7,000 Bitcoin, that puts Litecoin at roughly $175 per coin. With it sitting at $55, I think it's undervalued. Ethereum, you get to ride up everything that's built on Ethereum here, and you get a good chunk of this at 13%. I put it a little less because of all the competition that it has in the space. And then Dash, I think Dash is a good bet at 10%. I really like the way that they've structured their whole network with the 10% of the mining and block rewards going to a treasury fund to fund development on the coin. I like the governance, and I like the masternode system that they have, where if you hold 1,000 Dash, you get a masternode and you get rewards on that. And then Monero, and I think the masternode system actually gives Dash more stability, and some people would argue it gives it instability, because if people sell one of their masternodes, 1,000 Dash flood the market really quick. But I think people that are holding Dash masternodes are really well invested to it, and their payouts are pretty good right now with Dash at close to $300 per coin. And then second to last here, Monero. I think this is one of the top privacy coins, and as the privacy sector in cryptocurrency grows, I think that's a nice bet to have, at least 6% there of your portfolio with Monero. And then I allotted 3% to Ethereum Classic. And my main reason on that is, with all the changes that Ethereum is going through and trying to switch over to proof of stake, there are going to be some, let's call them old school or classic people that really want to hold to the proof of work model that Ethereum was built on. And so we could see a rise in that one, and you may get better returns off this one than anything at $10 a coin. This market cap could easily go to 10 billion. I think it's at 1 billion right now. If there's a transition over into that. So I'm not saying that will happen, and that's why I have it at only 3%. But I think it's a nice little sliver to have there in your portfolio. So that's kind of that kind of sums it up. That's kind of my low risk, what I would suggest people get in. You can leave comments and suggest some other ones. I have in my medium risk one, which I might do in the next video, a lot more coins. I want to say there's like 16 coins in that portfolio, and I'll break down the percentages because that's closest to my current portfolio that I have right now. Well, guys, that does it for me. This is cryptoharmonics.com. You guys can save the link. I just have a landing page coming soon up right now, but I should have the site up by the end of the year, and it's just going to have a lot of good resources on it for people coming into cryptocurrency. I think a lot of people are going to come in 2018. I think it's going to be huge, not only in institutional investors, but a lot of retail investors. When people make money, they tend to talk about it, and a lot of people are making a lot of money in cryptocurrencies, and so they're going to talk about it, so people are going to come. And so I want to make kind of a landing page for people to get as much resources as they can in one spot. So that's kind of my goal. All right, guys. Well, hopefully I will have a video for you tomorrow. If not, it will be Monday. All right. Take care, guys.